Okay, good day, class. Today we will talk about counting techniques. So we can count or we can uh, identify the probabilities and combinations by using these three methods. First, we have the fundamental principle of counting. Second, permutation, and the third is combination. But today, we will focus on the fundamental principle of counting. Okay, let me read to you. The fundamental principles of counting states that if the first event that can be done in any of n1 ways, and if this event has happened, the second event can be done in two ways. Okay, so the total number of ways, so we have two events, n1 and n2, the first event and the second event. So the total number of ways in which both events can be done, okay, so is simply we will just multiply. So our formula for the multiplication method of the principles of accounting is n1. The total of ways is the event number 1 multiplied by n number 2. So we have three sample problem here. So please stay tuned. Okay, how many possible ways can a girl take to buy a book from a bookstore, then buy groceries from a supermarket if three bookstores and four supermarkets are located almost the same distance from her residence? So, try natin i-solve ko ng manual, then for our formula, no? Para mas maintindihan natin. So, this is the residence of the girl. Okay, so he wanted to buy a book from a bookstore, and then after buying from the book, groceries from the four supermarkets. So this is her house. First, we have the three bookstore. Okay, so three bookstore. So we will call the bookstore letter A, B, and C. And for the, so this is the three bookstore. For the supermarket, so we have four supermarkets. So we have the four supermarkets. First, she will buy a book. So pwede pumunta siya sa letter A, sa B, and C. After he bought a book, let's say she first bought a book at the bookstore A. So next she will go to supermarket 1. So our probability A1, okay. Maybe she can, after from bookstore A, she will have a grocery on supermarket 2, so and so forth. She can go to supermarket 3, or she can go to supermarket 4. Okay, so these are the three possible ways from the bookstore to supermarket. Let's say second way is she will go first to the bookstore B, and she will go to the supermarket. No, so first she will go to bookstore B and go to supermarket 1, so and so forth. She will go first to the bookstore B and go to supermarket 2. She will go to bookstore B and she will go to supermarket 3. She will go for the bookstore B and go for the supermarket 4. Okay, so as we see from now, we have six. Okay, six ways. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now our last way, when the girl is goes first to the bookstores C, okay, then go to bookstore 1, okay. She will go to bookstore C and go to bookstore she will have a grocery at supermarket 2, so and so forth, okay, so and so forth. So, so there, this is our last option for when she go first to the bookstore. So continuing 9, 10, 11, 12. Or simply, okay, if you're using our formula, the multiplication formula, so the number of ways we have, the girl has two options, the 3 bookstore and 4 supermarkets. So for the manual solution, we have 12 ways. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or by using the multiplication method, so for the number of ways of her first option, which is the bookstore, is 3. Okay, and for the supermarket, she has an option of 4. So therefore, she has a 12 number of ways. So this is the answer. Find out the total number of ways of forming a 3-digit number using the numerals 0, 4, 5, and 6. A, if repetition of numerals allowed. B, if no numeral is repeated, or repetition is not allowed. Okay, so we will write these numerals into 3 digits. Okay, first is to identify the first digit. Okay, for the first digit, you can choose whatever the numerals it is. You can choose 0, you can choose 4, you can choose 5, and you can choose 6. So there are 6 ways to choose the first digit. Next, for the second digit, since our rules or the problem has stated that the repetition is allowed. Sorry, it is not 6. No, sorry. Typo. It is 4, and you have 4 ways to choose from these numerals. So in our second digit, so the rule is repetition is allowed. So we can also choose from these 4 digits. So what is the second digit? So we can choose 0, we can choose 4, we can choose 5, and also we can choose 6. So there are 4 ways that we can choose from those numerals from the second digit. And for the third digit, so since the rule is for letter A is repetition is allowed, so also we can choose from our third digit for all these 4 numerals. So we can choose 0, 4, 5, or 6 in our last digit. So that will be also 4 ways not to choose in our last digit. So by use the multiplication method, so there are 4 ways in each digit. So 4 times 4 times 4. So that is 64 ways. Okay, for letter A, 64 ways or 64 combinations. You can choose 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 4, 5, so and so forth. Okay. Now for the letter B, if no numeral is repeated. Okay, so this is the answer for letter A. So 64. So same procedure but different analysis for letter B. Okay, same. We will construct a 3 digits, but the rule is no numeral is repeated or repetition is not allowed. So in first digit, we can choose from those. We have for those numerals, we have 4 ways or we have 4 options in this numeral. So we can choose for our first digit. You can choose 0. You can choose 4. You can choose 5 or you can choose 6. So we have 4 ways to choose whichever the first digit in those numerals. But in second digit, since repetition is not allowed, so for example, we already choose number 5. Okay, number 5 for our first digit. We cannot use number 5. Example lang to class, so we choose 5 for our first digit. So our option for the second digit is only 0, 4, and 6 only. So we can choose 0 for second digit, we can choose 4, or we can choose 6. So that is 3 options. So for the second digit, we have only 3 options. Okay. And for the last digit, for our third digit, let's say we choose 0. We already choose 0 for the second digit. So our option is just only 2, 4, and 6 only, because 5 and 0 is already our first and second digit. So for the last digit, we have only 4 and 6. So we can choose 4 or 6. So we have only 2 options in third digit. So for first digit, we have 4 ways. In second digit, we have 3 ways. And for the last digit, we have only 2 ways or 2 options. So by using the multiplication method, okay, 4 times 3 times 2. So that is, we have only 24 ways in letter B. Find the number of ways to fill up the position of the vice president and vice president. There are 10 candidates for president and 9 candidates for vice president. So it is like problem number 1. Pero ngayon medyo madami. Okay? So medyo nilagay ko lang sa current event, no, yung ating Philippine election 2022. So here is the data. So for the president, we have 10 president, and for the vice president, we have 9. So kung mamanualin natin, so isa-isahin po natin yan, no? Abella Atienza, or Abella Bello, Abella David, Abella Duterte, Abella Lopez, so and so forth, no? Or pwede ring De Guzman Atienza, De Guzman Bello, pwede ring Dumagoso, Pangilinan, so and so forth, no? Kung isa-isahin natin. So we will just using the multiplication formula. So in our first option for the president, so we have 10 ways to choose for our first option, which is the president. So we have 10, okay? And for the vice president, we have 9 ways, 9 options. So there are 9, okay? So 10 times 9, that we have 90 ways to choose, which will be our president and vice president for those who are in the list, for 10 presidents and for 9 presidents.